broadcasting from the Unshackled studios in Melbourne. This is WilmsFront, brought to you by the Unshackled.net. Now here's Tim Wilms.
Hello everyone and welcome to another WilmsFront featured interview program on this Sunday the 28th of January 2024. We are live on the WilmsFront YouTube channel, the WilmsFront Odyssey channel and the WilmsFront Rumble channel. It is 9 p.m. here in Melbourne, Victoria, and I hope you all had an excellent Australia Day on January 26th. As I posted on social media, I celebrated at the Doncaster Bowling Club at an event hosted by distant actor Damien Richardson. January 26th is, of course, when we celebrate the beginning of the Australian project, when Governor Arthur Phillip planted the Union Jack on Sydney Cove, landing with the First Fleet in 1788. Now, despite polling this year conducted by the Institute of Public Affairs that found 63% of Australians support Australia Day being celebrated on January 26th, with only 17% disagreeing, we had yet again allowed by our governments and amplified by the mainstream media, the anti-Australia Day mob rallies or the occupation of our CBDs to scream Invasion Day and claim Australia has a shameful history. In Melbourne, suburban terrorists use angle grinders to cut down the statue of Captain James Cook in St Kilda. Now, despite Victoria Police being called as this was happening, they failed to turn up in time to catch them in the act. But rather than be on the defense every year protecting our National Day, this year, a group of patriots led by Ben Shand from Bogan Christian Lobby have decided to go on the offensive and launched the Australia Month campaign to call on the federal government to declare the whole month of January Australia Month. After all, January begins on January 1 with Federation Day in 1901, and if there's a whole LGBT Pride month, we should get a whole month to celebrate Australia. And I'm pleased to welcome back to WilmsFront tonight after many years, the man himself, Ben Shand. Happy Australia Month.
Thanks, Tim, mate. You're a legend. Check it out. I got me shirt. You will have to all get one. But yeah, this is the Federation flag. So, you know, we start from Federation Day, 1st of January, and you know, we keep going till the end of January. But you know what? It's sort of the wrap up job is Australia Day, and you know, it's one day's never been enough to celebrate this great nation and our culture, and there's so much there, and this year has been like absolutely amazing. So many people jumped on hashtag Australia Month, and there's so many creative people who then like they take their own spin on it. They look at it more historically, more, you know, from their own perspective, and then you're like, I learned so much. Like I did not know that was our Federation flag. I didn't know this flag existed, and we went on a learning journey of how incredible this nation truly is. And I reckon it's the first real official Australia Month launch this year, and it's only going to get bigger. And celebrate, jump on the bandwagon, hashtag Australia Month, get a part of it, because it's something for everyone. It is for everyone to be a part of. We invite every group, every person on social media to jump on the bandwagon.
And if you haven't signed the petition, I encourage you all to do. So it's a change.org petition. So it could, I mean, Change.org Australia, it's run by far leftists. I think Sally Rugg was their campaigns director for a number of years, who was formerly at Get Up, but they would have a nerve if they took down this petition. It's got over 1,000 signatures so far, which is a very good start by humble man such as yourself. And I encourage, I've put the link into the live chat if you haven't signed it yet.
Awesome. Yeah, 1,000 signatures. I reckon that's great. Like we've shared it out there. We've had, I think the hashtag really took off. People have been jumping on that. And a few of us have been sharing this petition. So like, I would imagine if we like really got that effort on sharing the petition out, getting it before more eyes, I think it would blow up and be huge. We went out Brisbane City. If you go to my X or my Telegram, you'll see I did a video. We went out and we actually did a physical petition just to sort of see what what people think of the idea. And I'm fucking telling you, everyone we spoke to was like, that's a great idea. Bang, bang, bang. We got one lefty who was like, oh, no, I don't celebrate Australia Month. And you know what? I don't celebrate Australia Day. He was kind of a bit of a weirdo. But you know what? We actually still had a civil enough conversation. He was just a young bloke. He will probably mature and grow up and see the light eventually. But everyone we went and spoke to was keen to sign it. And I think it was about 6 people who were keen to be on camera. You know what I mean? So like, that's pretty cool. I think like when you take my experience of going out for an hour in Brisbane City and the petition, you can sort of say like, well, if more people got this petition before them, I think we would get a huge response because we've had not many people see it. The people who do see it generally are like, this is a great
Probably
idea.
need to get out of the Brisbane CBD because that seems to be controlled by the Greens there. They won, was it 3 seats in Brisbane last federal election? That I think shocked a lot of the rest of Australia. Queensland's a big state, so what is it? If you just go west to Ipswich or Toowoomba or even north or south, probably get heaps more signatures.
Look, the Greens actually, there's a thing. I don't like the Greens. I think their policies are ridiculous. But do you know what? They're out there. They're volunteering. They're fucking actually.
Oh yeah, they're real go-getters.
They're go-getters, man, and that's how you win an election. Like I volunteer every election. I volunteer for One Nation, and I get there and I'm on call. I'll be like, bang, where do you need me? Road siding, letterbox drops, knocking on church doors, whatever, with policies in my hand saying we want you to vote for us. Now, if we're not willing to do it, these Greens are. And these Greens, I'm telling you what, these Greens run. A lot of the time they lose. And, at the end of the election, if they lose, they never say, are we going to run again next year? Never crosses their mind. They always will run, and they'll run with the same amount of passion. So, like, till we get patriots and people who want to, if I could encourage everyone not to be a black-pilled, don't be a black-pilled person. Jump on a bandwagon. I'm a believer in jumping on any good thing you see. You know what I mean? If you see Tim Wilms, jump on it, follow, comment, subscribe, share the bloody link. When it comes to elections, whether it's the Libertarians or the One Nation or the United Palmers Party, I mean, it's all like better than, you know what I mean? It can all move us into the right side where we need to be in this country because we've drifted left, but they're the ones volunteering and they're putting the time and effort in there, even though they might be dole bludgers or uni students, so they probably have a bit more time than us.
Well, there's a lot of professional activists, that's for sure. I mean, the Invasion Day mob, they tied in the pro-Palestine flags into it. This year, the intersectionality biopic. Now, if you have any questions for Ben, please put them in the chat. That's actually an Australian movie. Any questions for Ben? That's why I said it. What is your name now? Is it because you're not your official name now on all your socials is not Dusty Bogan anymore. It's Bogan Christian Lobby.
I
So
got my last
Dusty?
round, like, because you're probably the same, Tim. Like we get deplatformed. It's a part of this game.
Oh, shadow bans, like
shadow ban deplatforming. Like they went on the no vote campaign, and I hope people saw a lot of my videos. They were going like pretty viral on TikTok. And I just was like, I woke up one day and bang, my website's gone and my TikTok's gone, and what is it? What's the link tree? My link tree was gone, and
link tree is that's deplatforms heaps of people.
Yeah, so they like deplatformed me, and I just thought, is it time for me to maybe just rebrand a little bit? Because clearly they knew the Dusty Bogan. The Dusty Bogan's like across, Facebook, Instagram. I had a little Facebook and Instagram there with the Dusty Bogan with no followers. I didn't do anything with it. Sometimes I would check Facebook and be like, where are the events on? You know what I mean?
You're also a host on Gavin McInnes's Censored TV. So they've probably got anyone who's on censored.tv, probably blacklist.
They got me as soon as I announced that I was working for Censored TV. They went after me, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp. Gone. They demonetized my YouTube channel. So that was like though I'd already been deplatformed on Facebook, Instagram, and then sort of like had another run, and then I announced my censored job, and then they did me again, and you know what I mean. And then this time round, you've been there. You've been sort of on the Telegram was really my home for a long time, and there wasn't a lot of options for me. You know what I'm
still
saying?
Going well. Elon Musk taking over Twitter now, X. That's certainly changed the game, and obviously there's proper free speech video platforms now, such as Odyssey and Rumble, where we're streaming to now. Rumble that's the one that's growing the most, and it's pretty reliable. So there's a lot of alternatives that are not just growing but thriving.
We're coming into a new era, and that was a part of I thought, you know what, is it time for a rebrand? I thought, and I'm the kind of guy where I'm like, yeah, the Dusty Bogan. I'm still the Dusty Bogan. People call me the Dusty Bogan. And but I thought the Bogan Christian Lobby can just sort of give myself a little bit more of a vision.
Well, because you are
what do I do? Like, who am I?
Christian, and not one of these pseudo Christians like Chris Minns or Dan Andrews who support full-term abortion, euthanasia, you name it.
Absolutely. That's horrible. Like, someone needs to start lobbying for Christians and for Bogans or white Australians, European Australians. Like, I found during the No campaign, what actually like set me off. I seen there was some Jewish lobby group, and they were like, they actually said, vote no, because we're worried that the indigenous lobby group, they get out and they burn Israeli flags, right?
Was that David Adler of the Australian Jewish Association?
Yeah, it must have been the bloke. And
because he was the rest of the Jewish lobby, like Mark Liebler and Devere Abramovich of the Anti-Defamation Commission, they all supported the yes, though most of the campaign was before the October 7 mass attack in southern Israel.
Like this guy you're talking about, that's the guy I'm talking about. He was lobbying saying vote no, But you know what? It wasn't actually for. He wasn't saying vote no because it's in the interest of Australia to vote no. He was like, it's in the interest of Israel. And I thought, and then I'm looking at the Aboriginal lobby saying, you know, they want to change the constitution. I'm like, who's saying, you know, what about Australians? What about us? Who's lobbying for our interests? You got the Jewish lobby lobbying for them. You got the Indigenous lobby lobbying for them, and you've got, you know, there's plenty other. There's probably like the bank lobby and the real estate lobby and the developer lobby and the blah blah blah, all looking out for everyone's interests. And I just thought to myself, well, I can't see the people looking out for my interests. And I thought, well, we need a Bogan Christian Lobby. And I thought, that's it. I've been deplatformed, time for a rebrand. And I just sort of thought to myself, I just made a little graphic. I changed the name and I thought, let's just go for it. Stuff them.
So Wolfish Naturalist says, I hope Dusty isn't still a Zionist. I think they mean Zionist.
Well, I think so I'm a Pentecostal evangelical Christian, you know, and in our denomination we look to, there's the book of Revelations. It's sort of the end time prophecies, and in this book,
that's
there is
millennialism, isn't it?
Yeah, like we're talking right at the end, and right near the end there is the prophecies in Revelation say that there will be a mass conversion of Jews who will then be like the Apostle Paul, who will then help convert a lot of Gentiles, a lot of Bogans, a lot of, you know, European, a lot of everyone from all around the world. So in the Pentecostal evangelical Christian movement, there's always been we would like to get on with Jews and Israel. We'd like to be able to be friends for the purpose of converting them, in hope that eventually we would see this mass conversion of Jews, or a large portion of them convert, which then would be beneficial for us because more of us would convert.
This is when the second coming comes, isn't it?
Yeah, this would be like before Jesus returns, you know what I mean? So like this is sort of the picture I do, you know, completely. Let's be honest, like I don't want to be out there hating on every Jew and Israel. As a Bible believing Christian who believes in Revelations, I think we need to. It's in our interest that, yes, we would love to see these people become Christians. If they become Christians, we need this world right now. We need millions of Apostle Pauls. I need to be like that. I need to be evangelizing Australians and every person I can get to come across. If I believe this is true, and, you know, we can have a life after death, well, geez, shouldn't I be out there evangelizing and saying, Tim, I love you, mate. I'd love you to have this experience I've had. And
shouldn't you want to convert all of us? Like,
of course,
one particular ethno-religious group.
Yeah. Well, that's right. We have to go after all of us. I do feel as though my mission field is Australia, Australiana, the working class people. I do think like there's certain people who are my people who are going to connect to me, who are like, that's my people. I want people like me. You know what I mean? I feel like and if we all did that, if we all went after the people who are our types, then we're all doing our job, and we'll probably get to that spot where we might hit maximum Christian conversion and get that momentum where we want to be. Like, we have to be faithful to our calling. I love Australia. I love Europeans. I love working class people. These are my people. I think we've been overlooked. If I want to win you for Jesus, if I want to win Australians and working class Australians, I better be fighting for them. I better be fighting for Australia Month and Australia Day. And I better be coming up with ideas to get this country back on track. And because if I can't love my people and show that I care and defend our interest, then, you know, I believe by doing that, people will be more open to hearing my faith. You know what I mean? It's a part of my plan. Australia Month is a part of my plan to evangelize Australia. You know?
Ron Nielsen asks, isn't this guy a Kiwi, though? Should be sending all of them as well.
Yeah. I'm a Kiwi. I've been here since I was 10 years old. I came to Australia. Well, no, I was born in New Zealand. I came to Australia as a baby, and I lived here until I was 5 years old. My grandparents got sick and we moved back to New Zealand for 5 years. So I went from year 1 to year 5 primary school, and then we came back. So when I lived in New Zealand, they called me the Aussie kid. I had an Aussie accent. They called me the Aussie kid. I copped all the Aussie jokes. By the time I came back to Australia, when I was 10 years old, I was the Kiwi kid and I copped all the Kiwi jokes. You know what I mean? So it's kind of funny. I love New Zealand, but I thank God that I live in Australia. This is a great country. New Zealand, you know, if you think Australia's in a tough spot now, New Zealand has been in this situation for 20 years. You know what I mean? They've had constantly
it's in the process of being made great again with its based new government. Prime Minister Chris Luxon, who's also a evangelical Christian, the Deputy Prime Minister Winston Peters, and who'll take the second half of the term as Deputy Prime Minister David Seymour, and they're rolling back completely all of Jacinda Ardern's socialist and cultural Marxist policies. I mean, things are in a bind here, so that can always be a plan B at the moment, though New Zealand always fluctuates between these extremes.
Yeah. Well, I think the cost of living's crazy. I know, like, they did end foreign ownership of property over there. I'm pretty sure Winston Peters made a deal with the Wicked Witch, and they actually got that through. Like, so that's something I do believe that's something this country needs to do. Like, we need to wake up. We need to stop foreigners buying property in this country and, you know, pushing house prices up to an unaffordable level for young Australians. Like, look at the crazy political, like, even the young lefties, right? All that they say, oh, these, you know, Tom Sewell and these types of guys, or these crazy lefties or right-wing people. It's like, hang on a minute. These young people feel as though they can't afford to buy a home. They don't have a future. This country's not working for them, left and right. And who's to blame? The stupid politicians who've run this country into the ground. You know, they've let foreigners come in here and buy up a hell of a lot. They've done mass migration, and it hasn't been good. It has not been good. And who's to blame for these people protesting on our streets? It's the current, you know, left and right main two political parties, Labor and Liberal.
They let them in the CBD every Australia Day. Like, it's dangerous to carry an Australian flag into a major city CBD. I mean, in Melbourne, in 2019, Ricky T, 2ICF Cook's convicts, almost got lynched on the steps of Flinders Street Station for having an Australian flag. Police removed him. And then in 2020, they removed Neil Erickson from Flinders Street Station for having an Australian flag. Yesterday, we saw the New South Wales police stop the National Socialist Network en route to the city at North Sydney and gave them a move on order.
Hectic. And then there's some like call to be able to remove their masks or.
What about because removing the what is it? They're called the Keplers, the tea towels they look like that they wear on their heads. They're the pro-Palestinian activists. So do they ask them to remove those as well? Because they were out on the street on Australia Day as well.
Ooh. I think it's crazy. Like, I think if you want to wear a mask, you should be able to wear a mask. Like, I'm not.
But a mask
would,
or not anymore. Like, this is the thing, because they claim that Thomas Sewell wasn't wearing a mask. There was plenty though who were unmasked, such as Joel Davis and Tim Lutz and Michael Nelson. But they claim the rest were wearing balaclavas, but they were wearing black COVID face masks and hats and a hood. That's still a COVID mask. It's not a balaclava.
Yeah. What happens if they like got that? You know how you can get like cam paint and just paint your face like black, like cam paint, and you're like, dude, what do you? Imagine if they removed your mask and then you've like already cammed up, and they're like, fuck, like these kids have outsmarted us. What are they going to do?
Yeah, face paint. Face paint isn't illegal yet. I mean, Chris Minns is talking about
cover your face in them. Remember them Australian tattoos we all used to fucking cover ourselves in? Just like get the boys in a wet sponge and fucking sponge on all these like Australian tattoo.
I thought maybe that day they could have worn, instead of their black bloc, just Australian colours, because the mainstream media is like, police operation underway in North Sydney, 60 men in balaclavas, and Normie reads that. My God, what the hell's going on there? That sounds so scary.
Oh, mate.
But did you know that Thomas Sewell, he was also born in New Zealand?
No shit.
Yeah.
The best Australians are Kiwis, eh?
Though I'm pretty sure he's an Australian citizen, given that he's had 2 criminal convictions now. If he wasn't an Australian citizen, they would have deported him by now. Are you an Australian citizen now?
I'm not an Australian
Why
citizen.
not? What's the holdup?
I need to get it because I would probably like have a run for One Nation or the
Libertarian. Yeah, you gotta because
be a citizen to do
who knows what crazy laws they're gonna pass tomorrow. Yeah.
I reckon I'm tame as fuck with my political opinions. Like, I'm a Bible Christian. I follow. If you look at like, I don't know, One Nation or the Libertarian Party, their policies, that's the shit I believe in. Like, it's so easy. Like, what is so
you're
bad?
Still considered far right. I mean, according to the Agriculture Minister Murray Watt, the Australian, they spat out this whole article basically quoting what he'd said about you. There are some really nasty types showing up at the No campaign. What's Peter Dutton doing about it? And it says far right hijacking No campaign, says Labor.
Mate, I'm just looking fresh there. That was like some News Corp dude, and they're like, do you want a fucking photo? I was like, yeah, mate. And I was like, just write the Dusty Bogan underneath it, and then bang, they got me, mate. They saw me coming from a mile. But that was a great event. We got like we had what are they called? The Socialist Alliance, Brisbane.
I remember I was trying to find the footage. Was it you screaming like in their face with the megaphone, or were they doing it to you?
They were doing it to me. He blasted me with this bloody megaphone, and like I had an ear infection not that long before this happened, and I had like vertigo, so my ear was a bit fucked anyway. And this kid just come in. This megaphone's like, look, this screen ain't wide enough to fucking. We looked up the megaphone. It was like a $500 fucking megaphone. The kid is like blasting in my fucking face, and I go like, fuck off with your megaphone. Lift my arm up. This kid's gone smacked himself in the fucking head with it. I was like, you stupid cunt. Like, you are an idiot. I was like, sorry, mate. Don't blast my ear. Comes back for more. Comes back at me. I'm like, mate, you could burst someone's eardrum with that thing. He's lucky he didn't get it. You know, it was great. It was so stupid. I cannot believe that anyone would use a megaphone up in someone's face. Like, if this happened in a workplace, I could have charged.
Well,
I could have charged.
the socialists, they want to harm their political opponents as much as possible, and I guess
Yeah, that's
trying to make
real
them deaf
harm.
is
If you chuck that shit in someone's head, it is like my automatic reaction was just like fucking bang. Because it's just that's what happens when you know what I mean. It's like getting bitten by a fucking bee. You slap that fucking thing off you. That's automatic reaction. But it was a fucking sick event. I had a great time. It was an awesome event. We got to like kind of stir them up a little bit, and the whole time people were coming into the no vote rally, like we were like, there, how you going, mate? They're just absolutely tearing shreds off elderly women, children.
Oh yeah, they don't care if
Indigenous people coming in.
elderly
They
people
do not care. They were like, and I was like, me and my cameraman were the only people standing between them and I don't know, like who knows what would have happened. The cops were there. The cops just stood there. They just stood there while women, children, elderly, Aboriginal
seems that,
families were getting
like,
fucking abused. The shit
the police all around Australia, they're all the same, and obviously Victoria Police, they went, you know, the full hog during our sixth lockdown with the rubber bullets and the port tanks. Like they go in against peaceful patriot and freedom lovers, but you know, socialists who are getting aggressive, they're just
I mean, look, I've never seen any bad policing in Queensland. So I went to I probably missed 2 freedom rallies. You know what I mean? I think I had one of my best mates had like an engagement party or something. Another mate had a young kid's birthday. 2 events I missed freedom rallies. And I've gone for censored TV, pretty much a lot. Majority, every single right-wing protest I've been to in Brisbane for 3 years. I've gone to a few lefty protests. I've never, ever had a problem with the local Queensland police. They seem to actually let us protest and have our say, and they'll you know, escort you through the city. They'll block off traffic for you.
oh yeah, I'm in normal, in well,
even
when we went, you know, back to normal, everyone was free to protest again. And we still have one of the freedom groups who protest in Melbourne every Saturday, which I think, you know, good on them.
Every Saturday, still today.
Yeah, still today.
Shit, I'd be there. I'd be there. Like, I'll be censored TV. I'll be like, that'd be
come down for a week. Come down for a weekend then. It's funny the people who get mad at them for blocking the train tracks. It's like tram tracks. And it's like, oh, were you this angry when, you know, Dan banned you all from the CBD so you couldn't go anywhere?
Yeah. I mean, I don't really like blocking roads and shit. I don't know.
I love a good protest. A couple of seconds.
Yeah. Like, I love a good protest. And I think, you know, as long as you get to do it. But, you know, look, when I see the Extinction Rebellion people blocking traffic, I think there's got to be a standard that you know, like, look, we've just seen Australia Day. I don't even look at the protests, like left-wing protests. I'm not going to even look at it. I'm sure they burn Australian flags. The fucking Extinction Rebellion will glue themselves to the fucking road and cause hours of traffic jam. People in ambulances can't even get to the
thing about the Invasion Day protesters on like you're allowed to you're allowed to disagree with Australia Day. You can have a cry in your bed about Australia, but why do our politicians allow them to, as I said in my introduction, occupy the CBD where it's unsafe to have an Australian flag in your own city on Australia Day? I remember last year in Melbourne, the Invasion Day hyenas, they with their megaphone, they noticed this Thai immigrant who was wearing an Australian flag shirt and got up into her face with a megaphone and yelled "shame." Like they probably went in her face because they thought you're supposed to be on our side as a woman of color. How dare
Well,
you?
they'll blast Indigenous people. Like I was saying, I've got the footage of Indigenous families coming into the No Vote campaign, and they're like getting abused by these left-wing white uni students. I don't
There's
know,
no
like
Invasion
people
Day rally in
abusing
Alice
the
Springs in
fuck
the
out of
northern.
Indigenous people, and I was like, holy shit! Like they've lost it, man. It's the woke mind virus, and I'm very grateful that Elon Musk coined the woke mind virus, and it truly, truly is the woke mind virus. That's what we're dealing with. It has got to the point. It takes a guy like Musk to come out, coin that term, normalize that term, and now that term, I see it more and more being used, and it's just absolutely perfect. And that's what this is. And you have to remind ourselves every time, this is like a fucking virus. We used to have loony bins in this country, and we would be like, that's all right, Jenny, straight jacket, fucking padded room. And that's, what I mean. But I'm sorry to say, these people are fucking sick. They're sick.
I mean, there's the socialists, like at their conference, like they still like wear the not just the normal face mask, but the full ridiculous mask. They're still ones addicted to the COVID narrative.
I've never had. I'm unjabbed. I'm a pure.
Oh, wait a second. Don't say it. Don't say it. Don't talk too much about that because YouTube just yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Don't go there. Anyway, I went to every freedom rally when we're all freaking out, man. And I just constant in crowds of 30,000, 50,000, 100,000. And I'm just talking, interviewing, getting the mic, coughing and splattering all on the mic. And I'm like breathing it in. I got COVID one time, and it was like a 2-day event. I had to look after me 2-year-old and 1-year-old, and I was fine. It was absolutely fine. Daycare germs are way worse.
What did you have last week? Because you were due to come on last week, but you were pretty sick.
I don't know. I didn't test myself, so I don't know.
It wasn't the latest strain. What is it? We're up to
it might have been. I don't know.
Something. I always like to sort of I just now laugh at all of this COVID news now because and the media, like, they just won't give up.
Yeah, they're still pushing it. It's unbelievable. I was at the local shopping center, and there was still a fucking one of these rotating poster signs, and it was like, warning, more COVID in the community now than ever. Like, freaking me out. I'm just like walking through with my missus and 2 kids, like, Jesus Christ. Is this unbelievable, mate? We're all fucking spitting, coughing on each other. We don't care.
As is obvious to their viewers here, you swear quite regularly. So how do you do around your children? Has your wife got a swear jar?
No, I turn it. I just don't. Women, children, elderly,
There's women
I-
watching this show. We've got
Sorry,
Dawn Browning and
swear
Lady.
it, I swear. So I'm gonna do Lent this year. I do Lent. This will be my 4th year doing Lent, and every year I focus on something I would like to improve in my life, and I do think swearing. Like when I did my first Lent, I was a binge drinker. I loved drinking, and I never thought I would not drink. I'm having a stubby now, but I can have one stubby and not have another stubby for a month now. Where like I used to love drinking, and I did Lent 3 years ago, and that was the beginning of the end. Like I just sort of got a good 7-week run of reprogramming my habits, and it set me up on good habits. And like this year, I was thinking, I'm just like, well, I'm not smoking, I'm not drinking, I barely eat junk food or fast food. I'm pretty fit. I work out. I've got it all down pat. You know what I mean? My life's sorted out, but I do swear. I swear like I'm a concreter, like I'm a Bogan concreter, Tim. That's just every day. That's what I do. And I do need to, if I could improve on that, I think I could improve in that area. That's my focus this year for Lent. Bang.
When you're on Elijah Schaefer's slightly offensive, there was lots of fucks and everything. You're like Joe Pesci in the Martin Scorsese's movie, which hold number of records for the most fucks in a film. Though Joe Pesci, when he did the Home Alone movies, because they're family movies, he had to act being hurt without swearing. So he's like, friendship. And it's like, you probably should have won some award for not swearing in that movie with Macaulay.
I reckon
constantly hurting him.
Yeah, having kids, like, I mean, I got a 3-year-old and a 18-month-old now, and it's like, I tell you, like having this virus. I had this virus last week. I pulled the pin on you, and I was working all day concreting Friday. It was hot. It was 38 degrees, man. I came home and I put on a jumper. 38 degrees. I put on a jumper and wrapped myself in a doona and sweated it out, man. And come even Sunday, I think I pulled the pin on you on Saturday. Even Sunday, I was still wrecked. Monday was like 42 degrees. It was hot. And, like, I think having kids, you're like, I don't swear out my kids. So I know I can do this.
You have got a filter or
I've got a
mindset change.
Yeah. And they, like, little kids are so, they push your limits, mate. They push your limits. Like, I got my 3-year-old will, like, you hear the table, the chairs, he pulls them out and he climbs up and climbs on the table, and he's like getting the young one, climb up here.
Have they invaded any of your live streams yet? Because
I think maybe we did. We were doing some Rumble. I was doing some random Rumble streams for a while, and that was like they were both sleeping. So I had like a good little, during the day, I had a couple of hours while they were sleeping. So that's changed now. So I've got no time. I can stream at past 8 o'clock at night. I could do a stream. But like, apart from that, if they're awake, I ain't doing a stream. They will bust in here like I'm a brick of gold, and they are like bank robbers. They will get in here, Tim. They love it.
I will say, Brucey says Elijah Schaefer is a proponent of child mutilation. Is that true? That doesn't sound true.
Is it the circumcision? Was he pro it or anti the circumcision? I think Gavin was anti.
That's also a term used to describe child gender transitions. So you'll have to. Here it is. Here, yes, he's pro pro circumcision. So yeah, snipping.
My
I assume
kids are-
male
they're-
circumcision, snipping of the foreskin, like the Jews are famous for.
I didn't do it. My kids are not circumcised. We had my granddad, my Mrs. Great granddad, my Mrs. Granddad. He's big on it. He was telling me, "You get that done." Oh, I don't know, and I was like, "Okay, right." And maybe back in the day, I don't know if kids got infections down there, and it was maybe more common to get it locked to take the foreskin off to
That's
reduce
in
infection back then.
Australia, Europe, Latin America, and Southeast Asia and South Asia. It's completely uncommon now, but Middle East, Africa, and the United States, they're big on the infant male mutilation.
Yeah, I don't like the idea of it personally. It's like I don't know.
Well, they got to
we've got
use
antibiotics these days, so I mean, there's no. Is there any excuse? I don't know. It's a weird fucking thing, and I think it's one of these things where I just don't think you play around there. Like if your kid, it's working. You chop off that thing. What happens if it did get an infection? What happens if something went wrong and then you're like,
oh, what is that?
That's how you get grandchildren. That's how you become a granddad. That's why you have kids. You know what I mean? Having kids is a lot of work and it's horrible. And when I'm an old man, and they turn me into a granddad, that will be fun. I'm going to look forward to that. So don't mess with just let it be. Let nature take its course. You want that to be a functioning part of their life to turn you into a granddad.
Yes. Here. Though that's enough dickhead talk for now. I will give a shout out to Hayes Media Group, who's in the chat. He's been a real online advocate for Australia Month. A real, as the saying goes, eager beaver. Appreciate the efforts that he's put in. Always love to see new nationalist activists and
follow Hayes because
oh, did we lose you there, Dusty, for a moment? Yeah, I can still see myself on the screen there. It's Dusty that's the one frozen. I'm not frozen, am I? Dusty is the one that's just got frozen. But another good, excellent advocate of Australia a month has been John Lawson of the National Observer Substack. Also, another shout out to Gabriel Mare, host of Australia First. He's also been promoting Australia Month, and he also got down to the Captain Cook statue in Hyde Park to defend it after the dismemberment, decapitation by the local anti-Australia Day mob in Melbourne, though the New South Wales police moved him on in 7 minutes. How dare somebody try to protect a statue instead of trying to tear it down? So I assume that Dusty will be back in a moment. The feds got him the second he mentions me. The Department of Home Affairs, they've just got him. They're taking him back to New Zealand, which, as I said, I mean, it could soon become the place to be. I mean, they haven't got the ridiculous swastika and Roman salute ban in New Zealand because, well, a lot of there's the mongrel mob in New Zealand. They have the swastika tattoos on their face there. So while we wait for Dusty to come back, he is on the Australia Month channel. He has contributed a number of Australia Month banner drops, and here's one of them.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Are you on the mobile now? What happened?
Yeah, I'm on the mobile. Some reason my power cut off to my house, and it looks like my modem must be reconnecting or something. You can hear me all right?
Yeah, the Fed's got you. The second he mentions me.
Yeah. Bang, it was all the circumcision talk, bro. It was too much for them. They couldn't handle it.
Maybe.
Yeah, they don't.
We were just advocating what is the correct moral position and also the health position as well.
Yeah, I think in the modern era, you stay out of it. Just let nature take its course. Is that what we're talking about? Like, you're a bit broke up a little bit there.
Oh, you've broken up now. See, you mentioned it again. Yeah, maybe you're right. Let's just not talk about it.
I reckon I should be able to jump on here. I'll back through my laptop in a minute, I reckon.
Yeah, give it a
little
go.
bit of patience, and we'll be back.
Normally, it's me that freezes up and goes robotic, but my internet's been pretty stable tonight.
That's sweet. You run a cable direct to your computer?
I don't actually, so I'm relying on the Wi-Fi. Elijah Schaefer, he said that he pays for a whole satellite because, yeah, our internet is third world compared to where he's from. Yeah. Try and get back on because we're getting lots of.
Oh, give me a minute. I'll let you go. If you can hold down the fort for a minute, and I'll be back. I'll just go check my modem and see what the hell's going on.
All right.
On with it.
Dawn Browning says StreamYard heats up a couple of my devices. So I heard your voice for the first time, Dawn, today with the stream that you're on, and I was on with Lady of Shalott on Iron Duke 99's Australia Day stream. Because I wasn't in my studio, I used mobile device, and it overheated after 2 hours. So yes, always best to in streams to use a laptop or computer. So that was Iron Duke. He's a British expat, like Lady of Shalott. I must say, Lady of Shalott, I'm not sure if you're still here. You said that you were driving, because obviously we met at the as you described now, infamous Kelly J. Keane Let Women Speak event in Melbourne. But just hearing your voice, your Northern Irish accent came out a lot more than I think when we met face to face.
I'm back.
Awesome. I just did some padding. I did an Australia Day stream with Iron Duke 99, who's a British expat. So that was
Nice.
it's always fun to go on other people's streams because you don't need to worry about. Oh well, obviously, I was on a mobile on that stream, so my device overheated in 2 hours.
Sweet. Nice. yeah, you gotta. It's nice to get on other people's show. You can have a beer. You can just sit back and not have to pull anything up or follow the
Although
comment.
I've got well, not an Australian citizenship test for you. I've got well, it's I want you to recite, repeat after me to test your
Okay,
Australianness.
let's
Okay.
go. Far away.
Okay, repeat after me. First,
1st of
no,
January is
you just say just say what I say
okay.
first.
1st,
Second,
2nd,
third,
3rd,
fourth,
4th,
fifth,
5th,
sixth,
6th.
sixth.
Yeah. 6. Sex, Tim. Would love to have sex with you.
The reason why I wanted you to say fifth and sixth is because New Zealanders say fifth and sixth. And I noticed that in a video that Tom Sewell did 3 years ago, he was going through a list in chronological order, and he said fifth. His New Zealand accent still came in that regard.
I always thought he had a funny accent. I thought he was South African. But there you go.
It's funny the way that he responds to people saying, "How can you be the leader of Australian nationalism when you're born in New Zealand?" His reply is not surprising. Hitler was Austrian.
Oh, well, New Zealand's a wonderful place, but geez, they are. Aren't they saying that 40,000 Kiwis are migrating out every year and then they're bringing in 200,000? So it's like that the Europeans are emptying out. Like, they're just like, it's not good. A lot of my cousins,
a lot of our the actors, musicians, and comedians in Australia are originally from New Zealand, because obviously there's bigger population, bigger mass media. They can make more of a living here.
Australia's like the land of opportunity. Like, for New Zealanders, Australia's the land of opportunity. There's simply it's the place you gotta get. You gotta get over.
The joke that I make is that it's if it didn't have the dairy or the wine, it'd be a third world country.
Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly what my dad has said for years. He's
And
still over there.
that's why both major parties suck up to the Chinese Communist Party. Yes, have our milk, have our wine. Go for it. Have some more.
Well, they could be doing a hell of a lot better, but they've gone the way of they've always been like, they're not unleashing the full economic potential. They've been hard up on this green agenda for 20 years.
Jacinda Ardern brought in the cow fart tax.
Yeah.
And King
I
Charles
wouldn't even know.
Idea of having the cows wear masks, so their fart is in the mask.
Oh, no. Well, without farmers, they'd be absolutely screwed. Like, I've got cousins who work in the logging industry and the meat works, and yeah, there's a bit of trades and that, but there's like one industry towns, you know what I mean? And if you're born in one of these towns, there's the major employer, the meat works, or one of these dairy, factories, and that you are limited with your opportunity. So it's, you know what I mean? I think a lot of Kiwis will be quite hardworking people, and they'll have a go at anything. You know what I mean? They're pretty industrious, so they get over here and they probably do all right, and they don't complain as much. New Zealanders do need to complain more. Like, they go with the flow, and they've been their own worst enemy, And you know what I mean? And in Australia, we also should be complaining more. We should be protesting right now about inflation and mass migration and foreign ownership. And we should have what we did during COVID. We should be having right now about
Well,
inflation. We should
there
be
was
fucking
in
saying
the
onto
Melbourne
it.
Freedom Rally in November 2021, there was 500,000 people who marched, which was biggest rally that I think I've seen in Melbourne. And the Invasion Day protesters in Melbourne, they thought because they claim there was 35,000 of them. Oh wow, look at all these people. Like, it's clearly the momentum's on our side. The dates going to be changed. Yet that's 35,000 out of 7 million. And let's remember that these people in the CBD, they a lot of them are open. They don't want to change the date. Well, they want to abolish any day of national pride because they believe Australia doesn't deserve one. They actually want to abolish Australia. And did you see Albanese, his Australia Day message on Twitter X had no Australian flag in the background? No Labor cabinet minister had an Australia Day post with an Australian flag. And it's like in press conferences, because they have the three flags now, the Australian flag, the Aboriginal flag, and the Torres Strait Islander flag. It's like they stand deliberately in front of the Australian flag so that it's blocked. I mean, they would change Australia Day if they could get away with it. And
well, Albert said he won't change it. I mean, last year we did our
we
first.
have no plans to change the date of Australia Day. Just like we said, we have no plans to change the stage 3 tax cuts.
Yeah, so you can't trust the word that bloke says. He's a fucking turncoat.
Yeah.
Last year we did a banner drop that said Albo won't change the date. Ha ha. And you know, and like even that we had, you know, we were like, okay, we don't want to be too offensive. What can we say that we can get away with? Because I'm often doing banner drops. It's a part of what I do with my censored TV show. Like, it's you know, we go hard. And it's like, you want to be a bit cheeky, but honest to God, like, they will fucking try to destroy you if you're a little bit too cheeky, you know? You just want to talk plainly. You almost can't. You got to speak in code these days.
Well, I mean, look how it was. Like, you know, the hit job that the Australian did on you, and you know, Murray Watt calling you nasty. I mean, there was.
I didn't even read it. It was behind a paywall, so I only got to read the bloody title.
But like that was like that was just one smear, and you thought that like Albanese would get the message after the 40-60 defeat of The Voice, that Australians, they don't want to change Australia Day. They don't want this black armband view of Australian history. Clearly, if they voted against the first part of the Uluru Statement from the heart, they don't want the other two, so-called truth telling and a treaty. I mean, how can you have the thing is, like, so many of these Aboriginals who, you know, are negotiating on behalf of treaties, they've got mixed ancestries, and so. Yeah. And how can they like negotiate a treaty for, like, how do they know, like, you know, what the Aboriginals of the day, all of them were thinking almost 250 years ago? Like, how do they know?
They don't know shit, mate. Like, I did. When did I start my sort of political activism and making content or getting involved in the culture war? But I spent 10 years volunteering in youth and young adults groups in my local church, like mentoring youths. A lot of my boys were Indigenous. And, you know, these youth boys have grown up with schoolmates, and I got my last batch of kids through to year 12 and, helped them get their learners and a first part-time job and finish school. And they were good young lads, The Aussies, the Bogans, the Aboriginals, whatever, like all good young lads. And I know for a fact, like a lot of my young Indigenous guys today, years and years on, that was 6 years ago now, 5 years ago, something. They're sort of into Andrew Tate stuff. They're into red pill. They want to work hard. This is what my Indigenous youth boys are posting.
It's certainly an interesting.
They don't want to be victims. They don't want to be victims. They want to be making money. They want to get a fucking. They want a Bugatti.
Victims from a young age, like the hatred that some of them express verbally and physically towards white people. A lot of that has been taught to them, learned. I mean, the violence that is in the Northern Territory at the moment. It's spread not just from Alice Springs. And I think Jacinta Price's speech at the National Press Club last year, that'll go down in history. Like she said, the truth is that Aboriginal traditional culture, that's the problem. And teaching them to be a victim, teaching helplessness, there's no ongoing negative impact of colonization and intergenerational trauma doesn't exist. Otherwise, shouldn't I have intergenerational trauma on my father's side as well, who's white?
I mean, I just think these Marxist losers are coming in, and they're like, Aboriginals are just soft heads, soft targets for them to push their poison and spread the woke mind virus. But there are cool Indigenous. I always told my youth boys, I'll be like, hang on, boys, that if we talked about like in a tribal setting, the bloke who went and brought home a crocodile and meat for the tribe, he was a hero, mate. He got more women and more respect and more, he was the top G for putting his neck on the line and going for the big game. And people know this instinctively. And you know what I mean? You look at King Bungaree, was an Indigenous dude who went and helped circumnavigate the Australian continent. He was famous for cracking jokes, and he would have a laugh, and he would be absolutely against political correctness and all that shit. And, even Bennelong, he was a tough character. He was happy to live alongside the British. He lived in Sydney Opera House. Like, that's Bennelong Point. So we've got some cool characters and stories of guys who we could all say, look to these guys. These are real Aboriginals from history, and you've got modern Aboriginals like Jacinta Price and Warren Mundine. And I've got my young Indigenous mates who are looking to people like Andrew Tate, and they're looking at the red-pilled. They want to be men. They want to work out. They want to make money. They want to their family. They don't want to be victims. They want to go for it. And that's what we all need. We all need
that. I saw that Tristan Tate, Andrew Tate's younger brother, wished Australians a happy Australia Day and condemned the decapitation of Captain James Cook's statue here in St Kilda. I'm not holding my breath that Victoria Police will find those suburban terrorists. I mean, they still haven't found the suburban terrorist who firebombed Tim Lutz, who owns the NSN gym in Sunshine. They haven't found them. They never found the Antifa thugs who assaulted Andrew Bolt in Lygon Street. It's like, this is the thing as well. Like, it's all of the institutions, they all have this bias. And like, we saw the Institute of Public Affairs poll this year. Overwhelming majority of Australians support Australia Day January 26th. This is all. It shouldn't even be a debate, but it's like these anti-Australia people, they just rage and screech and that, and then the media says, "Look how divided we are." Well, no, you've just amplified it. Like, this is the thing. It's the ultimate gaslighting. It's like, oh, I can't believe you're so triggered over, a supermarket not selling merchandise. And then there was a person who vandalized a Coles because they did sell Australia Day merchandise there. Like, you're the ones who got triggered, like, the ones who are screeching on January 26th. You're the ones who are triggered. You started this.
Yeah. It's crazy, man. And I think they're like propping up a false, it's like they're pushing this agenda and it's not real. Like, I looked at the Invasion Day, some of the Invasion Day pitches on X. I didn't really dive into it deep, to be honest, but I saw the numbers and I thought, you know what? I'm at protests all the time. I know, what a size of a crowd is, and there's so many right-wing protests that happen that are fucking massive and Australia-wide. And do they get any coverage, or they get pushed like Invasion Day? No, but there's on regular, like, pro-life, freedom rallies, all these things. There are huge numbers, or church and state conference. There's massive numbers of people. And you know what? They're not getting like, oh my God, this is a fucking cultural phenomenon. Like,
no,
it's all
our media,
yeah.
and it's not just the ABC. It's 7 News, 9 News, 10 News, The Project. I mean, they're all awful. Even most of like News Corp, like news.com.au, they're pretty awful as well.
They use clickbait. If it bleeds, it leads. If it's drama, so like, it's not real. They're just selling drama. They want you to click on it. They want you to hate watch it. Like, they know.
That as well. But their natural bias is towards the far left's agenda.
Yeah, so they literally are pushing an agenda, and we have the weaponization of the media and the courts, because they will write a hit piece against you. They'll defame you, and once they've defamed your character enough times through the legacy media, then if they can get you in a court case scenario, they use this as gospel truth, these articles. You know what I mean? We saw this with like Brian Houston. We saw it with the Pal, the Catholic dude. We saw it with Kira Lee Smith, Lyle Shelton. They just hit piece, negative, smear that character, and then even if it goes to court, they can go not guilty, innocent. But you know what? The process is the punishment. The media and the courts is the punishment.
Smith, she got the second intervention order removed. That trans soccer player Riley Dennis, the YouTuber who came to Australia to marry her wife, playing soccer in New South Wales. So Kira Lee Smith has fought 2 intervention orders that have been brought.
I'm sure they like cost a fair bit of money for them to defend themselves. So it's like because
it's the police, it's the police that put it on, and so it's Kira Lee that has to hire the people to take it off. Like, our intervention order system it's so like it's so abused.
Yeah. I really have no idea. I'm going to interview Lyle Shelton and Kira Lee Smith at Church and State Conference. I spoke to them last year. Their court cases were happening, and now it's like, I think they've all been thrown out not guilty. So it'll be cool to talk to them. But yeah, you can't trust these people. You got to be you have to be a bit careful, a bit cautious. You have to be clever and cheeky with what you're doing. Like, I've been in this game for years now. And, I've had a few hit pieces. I've had a lot of deep
I
fun.
remember in 2020, Alex Mann of ABC's Background Briefing, I played the audio of when you and the Queensland Proud Boys unfurled that banner in public, coronavirus made in China, and alluded that, you were inciting anti-Chinese racism because they interviewed some Chinese Australian who was like verbally abused over COVID-19 at a bubble gum tea bar or something, and so they inserted you there, far right anti-Chinese sign.
Yeah, it's like, and when we did that banner, the video was like, I was like, COVID-19 made in China. So is everything. We need to start buying Australian made. And on my website, I was selling, this is an Australian made flag. I bulk bought a heap of Australian.
So is mine here from flagworld.com.
And I was selling Australian made stuff off my website, and they were selling like hotcakes, and I was making all right money. So it's kind of like funny, like when that actually happened, I had a strategy. Like, this was a bit cheeky, but we're trying to sell some Australian made stuff. And that was like, when they like did that, I was like, you bastards, you couldn't even throw me website. Like, if they threw me website on there and then they would have seen like, hey, the bloke's selling Australian made stuff, that would have been cool, but they never do that. Like, they're scum. That was a really fucking good banner. And once you start dropping banners, and I will encourage everyone, it's fucking easy. Go to Bunnings, go to the painting section, get the drop sheets for $30. You get a massive drop sheet. Buy a fucking $10 can of spray paint, or you can get there's like these bottles of paint, and you squirt it on, paint on your message, hang it off a bridge. Go do it. Jump on the bandwagon. If you go do a banner drop with your mates and film it and put it on social media, you'll have a fucking great day. Be careful not to. I don't actually leave my banners when I hang them.
Yeah, not obstruct.
I hold them. I film them, and I pack them up and I go, because I don't want to get done for littering, or if a banner fell off a bridge. That's fucking very dangerous. So with social media now, you can stand there for half an hour and film it, have a fucking great time. People will toot, have a stubby there with your mates and a laugh, pack it up, go, edit a little bit of cheeky footage. You'll get more eyeballs on it with your footage than you do cars driving past it, and you have a fucking great time. Like, I am a believer in banners. There might be some laws now that are you have to kind of be PC, got to be a bit clever, but go for it.
Yeah. It's hard to keep up with the laws against free speech, and because there's a whole bunch more that came in this year. The loose definition of violent extremist material, which
we did one for Pride Month, the gay month, and we were like, I think it was something like national pride equals racist Nazi, and then it said gay pride equals stunning and brave. So it was, it was quite a lot on that banner, but it was cheeky, and the message was there, and mate, cars were fucking tooting. They loved the banner.
Like those banners. There's almost all the toots are cheering you on. There might be some, but some
men need to
miserable gutsus like that.
Yeah, men need to get out there and do stuff like this. Like, you get on if you're not having a thrash on a motorbike or doing some forward driving or doing some sparring in the gym, like, blokes need to do stuff. You need to you need the pressure relief valve to go in your life and get amongst something with the boys and have a bit of fun in your life, because when you do, we get to a protest, you get to an event. When you do, you go, this is fucking good, this is great, and you get to blow off some steam, and it is a recharge. You know what I'm saying? Keeps you working your ass off every day, and we're all here working hard and doing the right thing, being responsible, but you do need a little bit of a. You need to go and blow some steam off. Let's get amongst it, boys. Yeah.
Are you still a member of the Proud Boys?
I've retired from the Proud Boys. Still great friends with the Proud Boys. They've still got their website, proudboysau.club. Go. I think I do recommend that there's a time for men that it is important. Like, you can go there, you get a social. It's pretty much like a social club. Every bloke needs it. You need somewhere where they're organising your meets once a month. Go do some bloke stuff. You're in a community. You get to have a laugh. You get to blow off some steam, and bang. You need to do it. We all need to do it. I'm so grateful for my time. I think I was 5 years at the Proud Boys. So I've never had, I think a few times I probably had a few too many beers. A few times I probably carried on like a pork chop. That's all right. You know what I mean? And it's funny enough, like they say it's a men's drinking club, but I also learned to drink more responsibly in the Proud Boys, because there's younger men, there's older men, and people be like, you're an idiot last time, pull your head in, or you know what I mean? Or you see dudes who can be responsible. There's different professions, there's all kinds of different people. I'm so grateful for my mates that I have there, but I'm no longer a member of the club. I'll catch up with the boys. I'm a believer in the club, but I guess being a dad, I'm very busy, and my work at Sensor TV, and I think I had too much on my plate, and I needed to get everything in order. And like, look at Australia Month. I think Australia Month's a perfect example of just having a little less plates to juggle. Gives myself to really do the things, the creative kind of things that I am really wanting to do. You know what I'm saying? And the club's still there. The club's still there. The boys are still there. I still back the club. I love the boys to still back me up with what I do. But I've still got things that I want to do that are a bit different. Probably go a bit different directions. And I'll be saying to the boys, help me with this. If I've got a project going, I want everyone to help me. So I need friends. I need that club, the Proud Boys, to still back me. I still back them. I need every group, every other club, every group to jump on the bandwagons of the things that I want to do, and we will be doing. I want you to back me up, please. Let's go. Let's save Australia.
I haven't been a member of the Proud Boys for a number of years now. I'm not going to go into why I left, but I still stand with Enrique Tarrio. Enrique Tarrio did nothing wrong. I stand with Joe Biggs. Joe Biggs did nothing wrong. All January 6 political prisoners should be free, pardoned, exonerated.
I think they will be. You know what I mean? I think Trump will get in, and I believe that they will be exonerated, and it will be a great day. Like, it will
you might have to start Trump pardoning himself, and then can get on with. There'll be a lot of political prisoners because the over there the FBI is going after Christians, those who go to school board meetings because they don't want their children being taught critical race theory and the LGBT religion.
Yeah. Well, it's out of control. Like, I guess I don't really have my fingers across every board, and there's a lot going on in America there. But all these problems, we're really fighting a globalist woke mind virus here, and this is a big part of like censored TV. What I do, a lot of censored TV, a lot of the subscribers are American, and they tune into the fucking Dusty Bogan or Bogan Christian Lobby, and they go, "Holy fuck! Exactly what is happening in America is happening in Australia." And like this critical race theory and critical gender theory is rolled out in your public school, probably in your private Christian school. It's there, and it's a huge problem, and
I'm not sure if I put the censored TV link into the YouTube live chat, whether it'll show up. Wasn't the URL, wasn't it banned on Facebook?
Banned on Facebook.
Yeah, that's literally censored.tv. The name.
You can't even type it in. You cannot type it into Instagram and Facebook. Like, so, I mean, I'm telling you this, when my first son was born, the day my son was born, Facebook and Instagram deactivated my wife's account. That's how bad they went after me. Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp. Day one, I announced I'm working for Censored TV. They shut down my social medias. They demonetized my YouTube.
Yeah.
The day my son was born, they went after all my wife's social media accounts, which she's just a Christian woman. She's a Christian woman who is not political. So they do not like censored TV. Is it because they've monetized, they're making money in that competition? It's because they're pointing out the craziness of the woke mind virus. Like, I just say, go. Censored TV might be like $12 a month. You can go on there every single day.
US dollars?
Maybe US dollars, probably $15 Australian a month. And you can use promo code 1 month, get a free 1 month subscription. Once you've done that, and if you love it, try it for a month. I guarantee it. Watch Jim Goad. You've got Elijah Schaefer, Gavin's show. Wednesday they do Compound Media. Gavin and what's his name have a show. There's so many good shows on there, and you need to like have a go, because you'll laugh your head off. There's more content that you will ever be able to actually physically watch, and have a crack. Use promo code Bogan, promo code Bogan, if you want me to get some money out of it. That'd be cool.
That was an excellent sales pitch there.
I need all your money. The economy's gone absolutely to shit in this country, and help me create more Bogans. The more money I get, the more children I'm going to have. So help me out.
Now, if you have any other questions for Dusty, please put them in the chat. We'll wrap up shortly, because it is getting late here on the southeast coast. Because Queensland doesn't do daylight savings, so when there's I do a show with a Queenslander during the summer, then there can be a bit of confusion.
I posted on Twitter and Telegram the times. I was like, check out, I'm going on WilmsFront. Tim's a legend. And I fucked up the times. I didn't get that right. But
we weren't competing with the cricket tonight, because Australia got bowled out and lost the test at the Gabba. Did you? I'm not sure if you. Nobody was there. Like, I suppose when you don't acknowledge Australia Day, and you have Captain Woke, Pat Cummins, and then Steve Smith say, yeah, we need to change the date. I mean, Steve Smith first he's ball tampering, and now he's Australia Day tampering, trying to sandpaper off January 26th.
So was it actually like a low turnout? Was
the Gabba like I could see the the coloured chairs clearly. It looked like there was nobody there. Like I could hear the the cheers when the West Indies won. There seemed to be like
more of them than Aussies.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, like, mate, they're talking about knocking that stadium down and doing I don't know,
For
$3
2 billion, and only I know your new
10,000 extra seats.
Yeah,
and it's
Stephen Miles,
$2 billion.
he's
Knock it down,
reconsidering that.
rebuild. It's unbelievable. I
Like,
think
where
that
are the Brisbane Lions supposed to play in the meantime?
I think
we
they
want
might
to
be
we want to win a premiership this year, beat Collingwood.
Yeah.
They've got
Yeah.
their own Captain Woke, Darcy Moore, who looks like a woman.
I'm telling you, if they go ahead with that stadium, it is the biggest kick in the guts to Queensland taxpayers. Like, it'd be absolutely disgusting. They need to rethink that majorly. Like, people are struggling. You know what I mean? Like, the cost of living is out of control. There's a housing crisis. There's a homeless crisis. They keep pumping people into the state, and they keep selling properties to foreigners. Like, I've got mates with, Japanese and Korean and Chinese wives, and these guys get over there and guess, if you walk down the streets and you see the real estate agents here, and you can see, there's houses for sale. Well, yeah, guess what? You go down the streets in Seoul, and in our real estate agents in the side on the window shopping, guess what? There's Queensland houses for sale, sold to these people, and not real. You know what I mean? Like, it's insane. And what are we doing in this country? End foreign ownership. Put the end net zero immigration. Net zero. One nation has a policy. Net zero immigration. Let's end foreign ownership. Let's get this country back on track. They have done a shit job, but the only way we'll do it is by people have to sign up to, I would say, look, one nation is not perfect. I hear what you're saying. Where else are we going to go? Sign up, pay your $50, put your name down to volunteer, and have a fucking go.
There's another ad pitch as well. Have you got the One Nation rum for the cartoons as well?
Not yet, but I got a interview with Pauline, and we had I scored an interview with her at the Freedom of Speech conference that she did, Brisbane City. I hope it becomes an annual conference, because it was bloody good. Yeah, and I got to have a little interview with her, and we spoke about her rum nation. So I would love to buy a bottle of that. I think I will, because who else are we going to go? The Libertarian Party's pretty good. They're having a crack out in Ipswich, and they have
they're much more based these days than they were when I was a member back in the day.
Yeah, they have like local sub branches and stuff like that. So we've got local guys. Campbell Newman's out here in Queensland in the Libertarian Party. He's the last time the Liberals who were last time when they ran Queensland, it was Campbell Newman was the premier. So he's jumped over to the Libertarian Party.
Which he wasn't a libertarian premier, though, with his anti-association bikie laws.
Yeah, that's right. And I'm going to get to interview him again. I interviewed Campbell at a CPAC event, and he was a good bloke. He was happy to do an interview. So he, I don't think he's going to run, but he's involved in that party, and he's having a crack. And God's sake, we need to do something. We've got the Queensland election coming up. Look, hopefully the LNP wins, and hopefully
although Chris Cooley, I mean, he's I still think he's pretty mediocre. I mean, look how they treated Barclay McGain. Like, he's they kicked him out, and no LNP member or candidate is allowed to be at the same event that he's at.
Barclay McGain is out at every single protest I go
And
to.
Barclay McGain did nothing wrong either.
He did nothing wrong. He smirked or laughed at a joke about the.
He's just a larrikin,
Yeah,
and his Halloween
he's an
costume,
absolute top bloke. I
Carl Rittenhouse was awesome.
if I text Barclay and say, "Hey mate, come do this with me. Let's do this," he'll come along. He is a very bloody connected young man. He's top bloke. He works hard. He builds friendships across the board with many people. He's at every event. He is going to be the biggest mistake they've done was shaft that young man, because he has a passion for Australia. And I reckon I back that dude up. Whether one day he returns to the Liberal National Party, I don't know, but he is an outstanding young man, I'm telling you.
And he also drives the lefties into a rage. Murray Watt, who had a go at Hughes, also had a go at Barclay as well. He's very obsessed with fixated on make sure that the farmers are able to not impeded to grow the food that we need. He's an emergency management minister as well. Make sure that the Bureau of Meteorology is warning people before they're underwater that floods are coming. Stick to your actual portfolio instead
why
of
is this clown
social media.
Why is he worried about Barclay McGain going to a anti-gay protest or a freaking whatever it is?
I don't know if he has been
protest. I don't know. But he, whatever they're going, they're coming after this bloke. He's coming after the Dusty Bogan. What did he call me? He said I was a something or other. But gosh, mate, haven't you got better things to do? I would love you to actually be doing your job and giving this Queenslanders a fair bloody crack. Like people are struggling in this state, mate. They say that we're for the poor and the blue collar people. It's like, mate, I don't know. People are struggling here. It's not good. It's only going to get worse, and they can't lie. And they try to divide and turn us all against each other. They love Invasion Day. They love us all fighting it over at each other. They love the Palestinian protest. They could turn you all against each other, and keep us distracted while they're doing an absolute shit job selling us out. That's what they want to do. That's scum.
Oh, and isn't state Labor government still doing the treaty in Queensland?
Look, they probably are having a crack at trying to push that through. I don't think Queensland doesn't want a bar of it. And look, when I volunteered for the No campaign, I went and picked up my volunteer pack and my flyers, and guess who was running the No campaign? An Indigenous family who were well connected with the current system for Indigenous elders, and however that works out. But they weren't they were actually happy with the current system, and they were saying, we want to vote no. We are happy with what we've got. We are not interested. We weren't that no one reached out to us about the change, and there were Indigenous families running the No campaign from the grassroots. So I was amazed. I don't know if they were voting no for the same reasons I were, but they were on the same team, and we backed each other, and we got across the line. So I think you've got plenty of Indigenous Queenslanders who I don't think they'll want this treaty. I don't think if they try to push it,
the Northern Queensland electorates, where a lot of Indigenous people live, all voted no. Same in the Northern Territory as well. There's no Invasion Day protests that I'm aware of in Cairns and Mount Isa.
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
Well, it's been great having you back on, Dusty. Let's not wait another 3 years before we chat again.
Yeah, mate. Have me on anytime you want. Let me know. I'll be keen to come back on. Thanks, everyone. Follow me on X. I think it's the new frontier. So go. I used to have a website. They took that off me. They destroyed me off TikTok. But have a go. Follow the Bogan Christian Lobby on X and Telegram. I have a Rumble. I don't stream on there often. I wish maybe I will. I might do a run in the lead up to Easter, and maybe hopefully I can get you on my show, Tim.
Yeah, love to, definitely. So we'll obviously cover here at the Unshackled the Queensland state election. It's like the entree to the presidential election now on the last Saturday of October. So it'll be a big election year.
Yeah, mate. Well, I'll be able to get you heaps of coverage of what's going on, and I'll be volunteering, and I'll be encouraging a lot of people. Look, if One Nation ain't for you, get on the Libertarian Party if you're a Queenslander. But we need people. We need people. If it's a $50 sign up fee to one of these minor parties, and it's a chuck them your email, get on a volunteer list. Damn it, we need to get amongst it. It's time to kick out these stupid idiots who have been running the state into the ground.
And we'll have a federal election in Australia probably in just a bit over a year. So, I mean, but we're stuck with Elbow, Anil, Elbeer, or Elbozo, whatever nickname you want to call him.
Pray for them. I pray for them. I will never ever vote for them, but God, I pray they need to have wisdom and they need to make the right choices, because it's.
This is where I think a lot of you Christians are too merciful. Like,
I just pray.
Like, I'm not a Christian. I think, like most of these, anti-Australia people are evil. Like, and would want us dead.
It seems evil. It seems evil, but you know what? I think we've got a morally superior culture and tradition, and that's why we pray for our enemies. And it's sort of like the same thing with this Jew Zionist thing, and it can be hard for people to understand. But yes, there's evil out there, but we need to still pray for them, and we wish that they would come over, see the light, and come over to truth and what is right. And then, like many times in the Bible, there's characters like Paul who, if they come over to see the truth, they become great ambassadors for what is right. And so we want these people to turn it around. You know what I mean? We want a great, prosperous country, and I believe it. Swallow the white pill. Go for it. Let's turn this country around. Let's turn our lives around. And hopefully during Lent, I might be able to stop swearing this year. So it's never too late.
Well, enjoy the rest of Australia Month. Hashtag Australia Month. So there's this banner that I forgot that I did, especially for the show. So whenever you're on Twitter X or on any other social platform, hashtag Australia Month and t.me/Australia Month. And we'll do it all again in January 2025. Can't wait.
Absolutely.
Take care, Dustin.
Thanks, cheers, mate.
All right, everybody. That's the WilmsFront show for this Sunday. Now, I haven't got a guest locked in for next Sunday or future Sundays, but I've got a few people in the works, so I will let you know. But I'll definitely see you all on tomorrow night's Tim's News Explosion, and I'll cover in full how Thomas Sewell and the National Socialist Network's Australia Day weekend travellers in Sydney have got our political leaders worked up again, spoiler alert, Chris Minns and Anthony Albanese have condemned Nazis, which I'm glad that they did, because otherwise everyone would have assumed that they were pro-Nazi. And also, we will cover the possible outbreak of a second American Civil War, with the Biden administration cutting down the border fence to allow a full-on invasion. Now, the winners of the 2023 annual Unshackled Awards were announced by Damien Ferry yesterday. And so we had, as our regresses of the year, well-deserved winner, Davir Abramovich of the Anti-Defamation Commission, an enemy of free speech and a dangerous pursuer of censorship. Our Australian Unshackler of the Year was Simeon Boykov, the Aussie Cossack. The international Unshackler was Donald Trump. The international cuck of the year, first-time winner, Chris Bowen, the energy minister, Blackout Bowen, having the Rewiring the Nation EV revolution. We've seen all those electric vehicles, a lot of those lithium, those batteries, unfortunately explode. So if you're considering investing in one, make sure that you do your research. Malcolm Roberts, One Nation Senator, Cis White Male of the Year Award. Triggered Feminist, Lisa Wilkinson, ex-host of The Project. Culture Warrior of the Year, well, hardly a surprise, but very well deserved. Northern Territory Country Liberal Party Senator Jacinta Price, Degenerate of the Year, perennial winner Hunter Biden, president of Joe Biden, and International Media Personality of the Year, Tucker Carlson, who has now founded the Tucker Carlson Network after Fox News decided to cuck themselves by firing him. And Fake News of the Year, the ABC. And we'll also be getting into the circus that is at the ABC. And so they, of course, covered the Invasion Day rallies in depth. But we'll cover tomorrow night. So there could be some change coming to the ABC with the new chairman, Kim Williams, ex-News Corp CEO, and he wants to tackle ABC bias. So we'll certainly see how that goes. Now, as I have mentioned to you, the Unshackled is now posting our newest blog posts and links to our Unshackled production archives on our Substack, and I've migrated our email list there. So how it'll work is when there's a new Unshackled article, or we're about to go live for an Unshackled production, I will post the link on Substack, and you'll get, and if you're subscribed, you'll get an email. And if you've got the Substack app, you'll also get an alert on your app as well. You can also take out an Unshackled membership on Substack by subscribing for $5 a month. And you can also be a benefactor founding member for $500 a year. But we still have our Unshackled membership on the website. We'll still be keeping the website. So the unshackled.net/membership, bronze $5 per month, silver $10 per month, gold $25 per month, and platinum $50 per month. And then, of course, there is a yearly membership as well. If a paleoconservative Australian is still in the chat, you keep saying that you're going to take out a membership, a paid subscription. You're still yet to put your money where your mouth is. Make this week the week when you become a paid supporter of the Unshackled, because it all helps. And now, Thank you to everyone for watching tonight. Another, as I mentioned, with Dusty, I've taken out a Twitter X Premium membership, but I'm yet to get my blue tick, so that should be coming shortly. So it's all happening here. The 2024 changes that I mentioned at the end of 2023. I'll see you all for Tim's News Explosion tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Melbourne time on the WilmsFront channels. More reports from Tiger Mountain with Richard Wollstonecroft later this week. And also check out my short vlog from the Australia Day event at the Doncaster Bowling Club, hosted by Damien Richardson. Good night, everybody. Happy Australia Month. Hope you all had an awesome Australia Day, and I'll see you all tomorrow night. Good night, everybody.
Broadcasting from the Unshackled studios in Melbourne, this is WilmsFront, brought to you by the Unshackled.net. Now here's Tim Wilms.